May the 4th. I was a little bit caught off guard today, I must say, for various reasons. So I didn't prepare the agenda too much. I do think that we can expect perhaps a cross-praise period analysis demo. Is that right, Iwei?
Yeah, a little bit. There's something wrong with the data right now. I don't know what's happening, but I can show like what are the planned analysis. Just don't take the results too literal. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's good enough. And do we need to put something else up on the agenda for the today? Some discussion topics, or should we dive right into the status updates?
Hey, Chris. I talked with Livias about showing to you the advantage of the script and storyboard from the next video of reward system. I don't know if
Yeah,
quick,
cool.
the last one, but
So,
we are here now. Yeah, thank you.
Video script. Cool. And we have two nice things to talk about, look at. But we'll start with status updates. We'll start with praise, as always, and let's see who is here. It's currently only Matt. So please start us off.
Hey guys. So yeah, this week I refactored the score calculations, or maybe that was last week. I'm not sure, but so I kind of consolidated the logic to calculate the scores into one module and made it as simple as clear as possible, and then wrote tests on it to confirm that it's behaving as expected, and also resolved the bug that was the impetus for that, which was dismissed praises were not being included in the average score in the exported CSVs, so that should be resolved. And then I made the improved user interface for marking duplicate, or for quantifying praise. Now you can do multiple at once. And I fixed a bunch of little minor bugs that I caught. Yeah, I'm looking into this database issue right now, so I don't have a real update about it other than that I'm looking into it.
I think we should quickly show the multiple marking as duplicates if anyone hasn't seen that, so that you know what to expect. I think I can, yeah, since I'm quantifier for this period, I will be able to bring it up. Maybe I can 6209. Yeah, so it works like this. You select the items that are duplicates, and then mark as duplicates, and then you get to select a score for the first one in the series, and then the other, in this case, the other two will be marked as duplicates of that first issue. And I think I also noticed a bug here. Previous today, if you don't select, if you mark 3 items, if you have it set already and you mark, redo it, there's some issue.
Yeah, there's already an open PR for that.
Okay, cool. Cool. So, and did you mentioned the score rounding, perhaps?
Right. Yeah, this is not implemented in production yet, but we're just going over it now. We were talking about previously when we were calculating scores, we were taking the floor, so the integer floor. So it pretty much only made a difference when we're calculating duplicate scores because it's a parameter that admins can set for the period. How much does the duplicate receive of the original score? And so you know, it's an arbitrary decimal number. So we lose a little bit of the whatever you call it. We lose decimal places if we just multiply a number with a few decimal places by the original score. So we have a PR open to start rounding to maybe a few decimal places. I think we're just going to pick an arbitrary amount, or make that another parameter.
Yeah, and I'd say I think it's quite important to get this online before we do the first token distribution because it actually affects the amount that people will get paid. But it's done mostly, and so let's try to merge it and push it into production and then I'll do a new export of the data. So before we do the distribution. And thanks, Matt. What have I been up to in praise development? Yeah, I worked on the Dockerization of the praise system to package everything into Docker containers, which will make it the install of a new server, a praise server, much more easy and fast. And that is mostly done. So the current production server is now running using that method of running containers. So that was nice to have that online. And what else did I do? I did a setup script that also shortens the time it takes to set up a new server. So it asks, when you install the system, it asks you as an administrator a bunch of questions. And you reply to those, and then it configures the system for you. So now the setup of a new praise system is really straightforward, and it takes like 15 minutes or something to set up a new server, which is good when we have installed it for new communities. And yeah, maybe that's that for praise updates, unless someone else have appeared here. What else are we working on? Nebs and YYV are working on various issues. So some minor things like fixing how markup is being displayed in praise, to showing a message when there is no praise in the server. And we are also working on upgrading the quantifier pool screen to become a user admin screen, and we have begun working on the Telegram bot, or in the form of Vitor. So a lot of things happening in praise development.
Sorry, I was caught up in another meeting, Christopher. There was you showed us a screen cap earlier of Matty G had something for the duplicate praise. Maybe you guys talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about it. It's done.
Sorry.
And we demoed it. It's online.
It's in production.
Yeah. Here it is.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I haven't gotten to test it yet.
So, do we have anything to say about source cred? I don't think so, other than I could say this, that Matteo is not here, right? No. Matteo, he updated the list of GitHub repositories that we monitor using source cred, which means that the cred score has changed accordingly because since we monitor a lot more repositories, now we include more contributions. And weirdly enough, it seems like I have become, or this week it's Matti who is the whale, and yeah, it's the cred score has changed a bit. That is mostly because a lot of work have been put into the praise system. So the praise system was not included before, but now it is. So that's all I have to say about source cred.
Assuming this is the final update we'll make to the repos, are we able to publish something for us to see? In terms of like the cred leaderboard? I mean, we're really curious because it was like we saw this huge discrepancy. So like if everyone feels like it's fixed.
I don't have any more changes or that I would like to get in. I know now we have a really long list of repositories we cover. Basically, we look at all GitHub repositories that have had activity since last July. So that feels like the most fair setup, that we look at all the repositories that have been active over the period. So I guess this should be fairly accurate if the source cred instance is fully updated, but so it seems. So if I check all time here, it's, you see, I don't know how far back this stretches. Yeah, and weirdly enough, I have become the source cred lord after pushing lots of PRs and stuff with praise during the fall. So when you say, can we publish something, what did you mean? Would you like to, what would you like to publish now?
Maybe this is a rad thing, but what we really wanted to see was that based on both data streams, like, do we feel like everyone's being represented fairly or more fair now? Because we had source cred, but when they realized that the people who were doing the heavy lifting on GitHub weren't showing up high enough in the list in the whole system.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a rad thing though, because we have to like combine the streams and show something.
Yeah, and it's difficult to value. As I said, all of a sudden, since we included praise, I have become the main cred. I have the biggest cred of all, and that would be my guess is that because I've made really a lot of small contributions and of course a lot of big contributions as well, but I've been like constantly pushing pull requests, comments, and issues over a fairly long period of time. And for instance, like a person like Sam, if you see on the screen here, it looks like it was really active around last summer, and then the level of activity has been lower. I guess, as like I described before, as an activity tracker, I would assume that we have set up source cred in a good way. It's difficult for source cred to gauge the quality of the contributions made because it's only counting the number of contributions, sort of.
And I think that's fair because after the summer, Sam rage quit. And he contributed a lot still, but fairly less than he was doing before.
The other interesting thing is to see like the product managers like Tam and Griff, who don't necessarily do development, but they make lots of issues.
This
so
also,
right
of course,
them up there.
includes the discourse, the forum.
Right. I like the look of this. I'll say that.
I mean, it definitely looks better than the first run we did. We can.
And those are different parameters for creating issues and doing like pull requests and stuff like that, right? In
Yeah.
source.
Yeah. But we remember we mostly tweak the parameters so that it's mostly counting. I think we weighed it. I don't remember the details now. We weighed it somehow and said that this must be less worth than this. I don't know how, if we said that comments must be less worth than the issue in itself or something like that, or the pull request. But mostly it's a tracking activity.
I think
But
this looks great.
yeah.
And we don't need to open up that can of worms of the source cred settings.
Cool. And it's worth also keeping in mind that this will be the only a quarter of the total rewards budget goes towards source cred.
In one single.
Sorry?
In one single month. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's switch over to the RAD dashboard. Nagan, you showed me a bunch of stuff today, and I hope we can see something from Shiwei as well.
Yeah. Well, first of all, sorry for being late too. I was in this other meeting with Mitch. Yeah, we kind of moved the repo to a new one to kind of separate the actual RAD system from the place where we're going to be saving all the distribution data. It's ready more or less. I think Mitch, you can try it out in this quant if you want. We can also do a call if you run into any troubles, but it should be fairly straightforward. Like we did a test run with Christopher today and it went well. Yeah, but the main point is Yue. She's going to show us the new analysis notebook she did. So I'll defer to her.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, this is the new repo where Naga was talking about, the RAD repo. Oh, can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, my internet is not so good. It might cut off sometimes. So here's the cross-segment analysis. Can you guys see the Jupyter notebook?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so we have round 1 to 8, starting from 2021 July to the end of 2022 February. And I'm just starting with some basic numbers, like how many praise do we have in each quantification period. Starts small and growing up, and the maximum was in the end of December to January, 1700 praise. I think Christopher mentioned after that there's a decrease of number of praise.
Yeah, we noticed. We thought it might be a bug or something, but it turns out that March has only like 1,000 praise
Okay.
compared to February of 1,400. So significant decrease.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, so I haven't included that part of data yet, but so far for this part, it's like a steady growth. And then how many people are giving or receiving praise? So the blue line is people receive praise, and red line is people giving praise. So both lines are like growing, and of course
This
there's
is
much less giver than receiver. Yeah.
These are the unique IDs. So how many
Yes. Yes.
unique people are dishing and receiving praise?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, so the giver starts from 29 and the maximum was like 52, 46, so 40 to 50 in this study period, versus receiver grow from 77, 140 to over 160. Yeah, I would be hesitating to draw any conclusions here, but any comment welcome.
I mean, in terms of just like the tool here, this looks great. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe this is something we take to the council or somewhere else, but I think this is cool.
Okay. Quantifier, I think the number of quantifier is actually determined by the system, right? It's not gonna change based on how many praise we have in each period. Is that correct?
This is the amount of people in the pool or amount of people drafted each round?
Drafted.
Yeah, it'll depend on how much praise we have. And the parameter settings, like how much praise per quantifier.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if there's any other metrics we want to check about quantifier. Like if these are determined by the system, that's not too much to talk about. Is there any other quantifier behavior we want to compare across periods? That's the question.
Yeah, what would be really cool is to see how much was quantified versus how much was assigned. Because sometimes people don't show and then praise doesn't get quantified, or some people only do like partially completion. So like we know how many were drafted, but then to actually measure the activity would be a different metric.
Yeah. Okay, that's helpful.
Also, I don't think we have access to that, but could we have somehow like time people spent quantifying?
Like for each quantifier, how long do they spend in quantifying?
Yeah, maybe like the time where they were like moving something in the dashboard.
You would need like some sort of like front end analytics, like screen tracking, or like session tracking.
In theory, we could add data of we have data of when a quantification was updated, but it's not currently being exported into the CSV. And a simple thing we could do maybe is the time from when the quantification period is opened to the time that the quantifier has finished.
That wouldn't really solve the problem. I think what I would try to get from that is like, what if someone spent like 20 minutes? That means they probably didn't read what they were doing.
Right. Yeah, that would be very useful. Are you taking all this data from the exported CSV, Ziwei?
Yeah.
Or okay. All right. So maybe I need to look into how to add that data in.
Yeah.
Matt, do we track the individual change timestamps for individual quantifications? Or is it for the praise item?
That's a good question. I need to double check.
I don't think we track the individual quantifications. since those are not, that is not a separate table.
No, we do actually. Yeah, because it's we created a we do have an updated at and created at date for each individual quantification.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, so I heard, Livy, that you're saying it's really using that time data to see if anyone's not paying attention or giving random scoring, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we don't necessarily have to look into the time data, like by purely looking the scoring and like correlation between this quantifier and others. Might be other ways to detect that.
Then we get kind of, yeah, go ahead. Octo.
Sorry, Livy. I had one idea I wanted to throw out, which is you could also check for this by doing like explicit attention checks where you had some praises that were put in the batch that were like nonsense, or they started out as clean praises, but at the end it said, please vote this a 5 or something. And like trying to trap people who.
A honeypot.
Honeypot, poison pill, I don't know how people feel about that, but it's another way to sort of see if people are really giving the task attention.
Yeah, I would say currently the praise of like attending meetings, that's a relatively standard praise that everyone need to give it 1 to 5, and if someone's not doing that, that's like an attention check too. So I would say just based on the current data, I'm gonna using the current data to see how well we can detect that kind of behaviors, and then we see if we need to add anything else.
Very good. Sorry to interrupt you, Livy.
No, it's a familiar idea in a lot of psychology experiments that we do that kind of thing.
Yeah, I like that idea too. But we don't. If we find another solution, that could be cool too, right?
Yeah. Okay. So now I'm trying to tap into some system health evaluation that is tied to the discussion Levy started. So one first idea is the TEC members who have been active in one quantification period, and here I'm defining someone's active by either they're giving or receiving praise during this quant. Then we're comparing in each quant period the unique IDs that give or receive praise. So the blue ones
Sorry,
are
sorry.
yeah.
I at least had some audio quality difficulties.
Okay.
I didn't hear you
Okay.
for the last 45 seconds or so. Could you please repeat about the new users?
Yeah. So the blue line here are the number of new users in each quantification period. Actually, this data look a bit strange because the number, this is including praise giver and praise receiver, so it might be right. This number, but I intended to define this as, for example, in this quantification period, how many users are new that didn't appear in the last quantification period but are involved in this period. So that's the number of new users.
So it compares between the periods. So in the first period, 100% would be new, and then in the second period, it will you compare with the first, and so on.
Yeah. So here I just skipped the first period. So you start from the second period. Yeah, and similarly, the red line is the user that left. So they were in the last period, but didn't appear in this period. The green line is the two lines.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see quite a steady rise of on the number of users leaving, and a steady decline of net users, total.
Yeah. Well, it's not declining. Like when the green line is above 0, it is still increasing. Only when it's below 0, it's declining. But the rate of increasing is decreasing. Yeah.
Green line is the derivative.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You praise receivers or includes praise givers too?
Giver and receivers.
Okay.
I'm gonna double check this data because I find it hard to believe that every period there are so many new users. It could be something like this person appears in September and November, but not in October. Then they're counted as leaving one time, then rejoining again. So this metric's a bit unstable.
I mean, during that time were the whole param parties, so we actually did have a lot of new people who got praised for attending param parties, so maybe they show up because of that. But yeah.
Okay.
I also sorry, you I have I'd like to add something to the wish list once you're done.
Yeah, I'm done explaining this result.
And the what I'd like to add is the number of active users. And how do we define an active user? I don't know. We need to come up with a definition. What is an active user? Is an active user a user that has been sending or receiving praise in 3 consecutive periods or something like that? It's just a definition we make ourselves.
I wonder. Go ahead, Matty G.
One issue may be that currently with the exported CSV, we're exporting the user account name as it appeared on Discord at the time of the export in our database, and it doesn't, it's not able to handle if people have changed their Discord names over time. So a lot of the new users may actually be repeat users who've changed their names. So I'll need to include the database ID in the export as well.
Okay, so in the database ID, you're able to identify that?
Yes.
Okay.
And don't we include that? Yeah, we include that. That is the first column we export. It's the ID.
Oh, okay.
But we have a to-user account and a from-user account, so we would want 2 IDs.
Yeah, is that ID the ID of this praise?
Yeah, right? That's the praise ID, not the user ID.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, that would be nice. We update the table.
Yeah, we should have two user ID and from user ID as well. Add those 2 columns.
And it might also be nice to, on the wish list, to have 2 versions of this chart, one for givers who came and left, and another for receivers who came and left.
Okay. Yeah, let me think about what Christopher, you were just saying, that you want the define active as like keep on active for a sustained period, more than 1 month, right?
Yeah, I don't have a clear idea about the definition of an active user, other than that it could be a person that has been both sending and receiving praise for more than one period. I don't know how. And longer the time span we choose, of course, the more the less active users we will have.
Yeah, so you want to raise the bar of someone defined as active because that's more meaningful for what?
Yeah, I'd say it's super valuable to know for the community. Like, are we a community that attracts new users and those users stay? Or are we a user with a high churn rate? We manage to attract loads of new people, but those people leave really fast. So are we like a long-term low churn community, or are we like a high velocity, fast, high churn community?
Okay.
I've been looking into this metrics also based on Discord activity, like if people joined a meeting or multiple meetings, or if they joined and didn't participate in anything. I think Discord has this data of like if they joined a chat, if they joined a meeting, and I think that's it.
Yeah. Do we have those data though? The Discord data?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Again, that would be something outside of the red dashboard scope. I don't know who we're gonna take up that, but that would be a good thing to contrast with the data based on praise.
That could be just another source on red, right, Christopher?
Yeah, that definitely could, but managing different sources like we discussed today is so somewhere into the future.
Future.
Okay, last thing I worked on is this Nakamoto coefficient. So it's defined as the smallest number of count who can control 50% of the resource. Here, the resource is the praise score, and although its significance relates to the prospect of a 51% attack on network, which may not be exactly relevant in the context of praise score, it's still an intuitive measure of the system quality. And the bigger coefficients means you need more people to pass 50%, so that it's more equal distribution. Smaller means concentrated power. So here we do see fluctuation, and in February it reached to a peak of very equal, meaning many people are sharing praise scores instead of being concentrated. So seems like only looking at this data or there's a lot of fluctuation, but not anything super dramatic. But then if we look at so this is the pure number of people, and this is the ratio of how many of the people in the whole pool that you need to receive 50%, and then it's decreasing to a certain point and increasing later on, so still fluctuation. I don't have an intuitive idea like what a ratio would be ideal.
I think the most distributed, the better, if we're thinking about this becoming a reputation score. Zap, you're gonna say something.
Yeah, I was just going to say like it depends on the amount of people there are in a community. Like if there is a community of 10 people and I don't know, 5 people are getting the power, it's not so bad if it's a community of 100 people, 5 people are having the 50%.
Yeah, so here is the ratio. Well, it's not really divided by the total number of community member or active members. The total number of people who receive praise in this period. But still, like here in this November to December quant, it's 6% that can have the 50% of the total reward. So that's
So
that's like
6% of the active praise receivers got 50% of the total rewards.
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Ichiwei, I just had a look at the watch and see that we have 15 minutes left.
Yep. This is the last thing I share today.
You said we
Yes,
had a request on the wish list, Christopher. I got curious.
yeah, well, no, what I wanted to add was the metric of active users.
Oh, okay.
So for the I'm a little confused about the Nakamoto ratio. So
Yeah.
is this the total number of like colluding actors that would be needed to falsely quantify
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the total reward scores. We have a total number of reward scores, and 50% of them be the minimum number that can account for 50% of the total reward scores.
Okay, interesting. So this is going to be reflective of the number of praise, the distribution among people who received praise.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. And do you think that this is a more useful metric than like a Gini coefficient?
I chose this just because it's intuitive to interpret. But yes, we can compare the different equality metrics and see do they basically show the same thing or there's something different.
Right. This is so awesome. Seriously, so
Yeah.
cool.
Great work, Ichiwei.
Yeah.
Really awesome.
Thank you.
So let's sorry to stress us a bit, but let's move on so we get to the end. Quantifications, Mitch. Do you have something to say?
Well, we hit that snag in the database bug that I think Matty G's working on. Apart from that, because there was so little praise, there's only like 12 quantifiers instead of 20. Mostly everyone's done. But yeah, business as usual. We'll have a review call tomorrow. We'll set up the next round. We'll start April praise. That'll include the new praise bot. Praise?
Yeah, and April is not yet in the database.
Okay, that is a blocker. April praise data. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yes, since April just ended 4 days ago, and we have been using the old bot as well. So it's we need to do an import before we can start the new pool.
Yeah, maybe do that ASAP because who knows, maybe something weird will happen with processing this new bot data.
ASAP is all we do, but we will need to do the do the exercise of finding any missing user IDs as always. But I suspect the list will be quite short since it's only 1 month, and yeah.
Okay, cool. Yes, that's it. We'll wrap up March tomorrow. Well, end of day, and then we'll start April. Review calls. All good.
Great, thanks. Onboarding and education, or the reward board. Sorry. What do I have to say about the reward board? Yeah, the forum posts have been out for a few days. I think we are leaning towards concluding that the advice process is done. Is that the general feeling about this?
Yes.
Yep. Cool. So then we since no one have objected in the forum, we have a clear signal that we can move on with the token distribution as planned. So now we just need to finish up, and like I said, I'd like to include this fix with the decimal fix, so and make it a new export again, so that we know that the praise score is as it should be. And before running the red dashboard and calculating the token distribution and doing it. So that's next up for the reward board. Onboarding. Yeah.
Nuggin prepared the CSV output. I think you messaged me about it, but I forgot.
Yeah, I mean, we have the Aragon format. I'm exporting the Aragon format now that you
Wonderful.
talked about.
Wonderful. Okay, cool.
I mean, you check it out if it works. If not, message me. But yes.
Okay. Good.
Onboarding and education. Livy, do you have something, or could we move into the video script?
Yeah, I posted I updated the document on the forum after this on Thursday. So I don't know if everyone here knows, but it's there in the forum. I think we have all the information we need now. And also I'll lead orientation call tomorrow, and I'll make sure to make a big part to praise and for people to get oriented on it.
Great. Yeah, and I guess it's still an issue with lots of people not having activated their accounts.
Yeah, Livy, did you hear back from Edu? Like if he needs help going through the list and doing outreach?
He's on vacation, so that's probably the case.
Okay.
Okay. Last item of today, communications and Acid Laser, would you like to take us through the video script?
Yeah, thank you, Chris. We don't have much time, and we wanted to present you the reduced script and show you the storyboard. We have been working some weeks ago with Alan, John Jonas, and Chewy for the upcoming reward system video tutorial for new quantifiers. Well, I post the script and the storyboard in the reward system channel. It is a Google Doc document, so you can make your comments and feedback. Because I don't think we have enough time to present it here live. But if you want to present it the next week, it will be great. If you want to make the comments in the Google Docs, it will be awesome. So we can make the changes coming to you, the reward system expert, and commend you a little bit about the video. It's about some robots. The robots represent the quantifiers, and it's like a little story telling the rules, all the stuff you need to be a quantifier, with some jokes and stuff like that. Also showing how to use the dashboard, the days, the dates that we use for the praise, and and all that stuff. But if you want to see the storyboard, it's in the reward system channel, and that's it. if you want to present the next call more with detail, it will be great. But the documents are there.
So for planning for next week, if you would like to, we would be super happy to get the presentation. How much time do we need to reserve?
Maybe 10 minutes. I don't know, or less.
Sure.
Yeah. 8 minutes, something like that. Okay.
Then we'll next week we will not make it the last item on the agenda.
Okay. What do you think, Olivia?
Can we make a puppet show? That would be so cute.
Puppets?
What is that?
What is that?
Yeah.
Puppet? It's the thing you put in your, like, kind of like dolls that you don't have the, yeah, not like that, Mitch. That's not
Okay.
a puppet.
Yeah, I got some socks I can use.
You
No,
have
I'd like to have is it a Japanese or Chinese? The shadow theater style. It's really nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
that's
so many cool ones.
the arts thing.
Yeah, I got some popsicle sticks. Maybe we can make something cool.
You're not the one that's gonna make it.
Well, we can use your help, Mitch.
Sure. No, I mean, don't leave it to me. I'm not the creative expert. I have faith.
Yeah, thank you. Well, if you want to look the storyboard, it's in the reward system channel, and make your comments. That's it. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Acid Laser. Okay, then we ended up having 4 minutes left. Sorry for stressing everyone there at the end. How should we spend these 4 minutes?
I had something, but I forgot. So sorry. Oh yeah, like part here that doing the outreach for unactivated praise accounts. Like I think Eduardo needs help because it's a lot of people. It's like 400 something, and so I don't know if he's on vacation, like can anybody help him out if you're looking for a job? It's a really easy thing for a new contributor.
Is there a list or like a spreadsheet? So
I can track down. I think Edu has a spreadsheet he's using, and that would be a really easy way for people to jump in and just help them activate their praise account, and then update the list.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if nobody's up for it, it'll probably take a lot longer. So, just PSA if you're feeling up for new horizons, this is the way.
I have a feeling that everyone still left in this meeting are quite busy. Most of us are. Maybe someone here have the spare capacity.
I might try and hit up the quantifier pool
Mm-hmm.
because obviously they know how to do it. Okay.
Okay, maybe that's it for today.